Welcome to the Invention Licensing Show. I'm your host, David Fidoa, and I'm here to help you license your product. Today, we're going to go over the roller coaster of emotions for effective inventors. To jump right into it, the roller coaster of emotions, right? This is the crazy ups and downs that we take as inventors to get through the process of getting to our end goal. And I want to tell you a little bit about them so you know before you get started what this is going to look like or going to be like. You can see what it looks like, but you can't know what it feels like until you actually jump in. So, the roller coaster is, I invent my product. I start working on prototypes, and they work or they don't work, right? That's kind of disheartening when you've spent, sometimes $100, $200 on prototype material and it doesn't work exactly like you thought it did. So there's ups, right? And it works or it doesn't. And then you go out and get your PPA file. There's no real ups and downs with that. You get it done. It's just busy work of being successful. And then when you start pitching, this is where the real roller coaster comes in. Usually when you start out, you're super excited, ding, 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 we're really excited, and then there's this down because when you start calling, you don't get immediate feedback. Companies don't call you back. Companies don't follow up with you. They don't respond to your calls and emails, right? And so you're like, this is not working. Crash. And a lot of inventors, this is where they quit. First crash. They're like, this doesn't work. I can't get into anybody. Well, you got to keep following up. And this is why I called this the roller coaster of emotions for effective inventors, is they know that this is coming. And so what they do is they delegate themselves tasks that are typically pretty mundane, but they are continuing to move forward. And so I'm going to go through a little bit of the roller coaster, and then I'm going to show you how to get through this and be effective through these ups and downs. So then let's say you get a company that calls you back and says, we're interested. Woo! We're on our way up and excited, right? And then you can actually be on the up for a couple months because they're like, we're excited. We want to do this. This is moving forward. And then something happens, like their pricing from their factory comes in way too high, or there's a design issue, or something happens within the market. Another competitive product comes out, crash back down. And so that's where you're like, what do I do? How do I get out of this tailspin? And it's those that know how to, like me personally, I'm an emotional person. I am up and down. But I know if I continue to do things, even when the emotions are low. I use excitement. So when I'm excited about something, I can work hard for days on end. I mean, like basically without sleep, I can keep going because I'm excited about it, right? And I'm guessing a lot of you out there had that same feeling, is like you just feel electrified by these cool, innovative products that you're working on. You're like, I know I can make this thing work. And so you work your butt off and you try to continue to make it work. And so that's easy. That's easy to work, right? You're having a great time. It's so easy to follow through at that time. But the hard time to follow through is when things are not working. Things are not happening. And the easiest example I have for this is calling companies. And so you delegate yourself a mundane task that you can continue to do day in and day out, even on the downfall. And so it's call one company a day. That's it. It's most of the time they don't answer, so it's about a 30-second or 1-minute task, but it keeps you in the game. And so what happens is you call a company on Monday, they don't answer. Call a company on Tuesday, they don't answer. Call a company on Wednesday, somebody answers. Or Thursday or Friday, whatever day it is that they answer. And then you can get in and pitch your product. Awesome. That's one pitch, 1 week. You're still like, man, this is not working, but I'm doing my my mundane everyday task that I promised myself I would. And it's only taking me 30 seconds to 1 minute to do. And it starts to accumulate because you do this for 1 week, you're not getting any responses. You do this for 2 weeks, you're starting to actually have somebody say, yes, we'll look at your product. And by week 3, you're getting responses back on your product submission. And that is usually what it takes to get an inventor back in the game. That's what it took me to get back in the game, is because I'd be on these downfalls of like, man, this is not working, it's difficult, nobody knows what I'm going through. I'm having a hard time with this. And I just give myself the mundane task. And over time, that would eventually compound to my product got into companies. I'd be getting feedback, sometimes positive, sometimes negative. Negative feedback is not a bad thing. It's just the fact that somebody's communicating with me and saying, hey, we saw your product. It's not the right fit for us. All right. Hey, somebody's talking to me. Awesome. And it makes me want to work more. And positive feedback is even better, right? And it gets you back on the spiral upward so that you're not in that negative emotional state. And so the effective inventors are the ones that figure out how to pick a mundane task that you can do day in and day out, even through the down parts of the emotional journey in licensing your product. So do that. Put this in your tool chest of what I'm going to do when I'm in the process of pitching my product, or when I have a hard time getting back into my inventing game, is do that one task once a day for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And remember, these tasks can only take 30 seconds to a minute out of your day. If you don't have that, you shouldn't be in the game. And then it will start to bring you back in, because you'll get that feedback and you will start to want to put the projects together. So I hope you really liked that episode of Invention Licensing Show with me, and I'm always here to help you license your products. If you got anything out of that, remember, one small goal a day can get you back in the game and get your products licensed. So do subscribe now, or give me a thumbs up on the video if you got anything out of it. The next video is all about incremental goals, and I really want to dive into that with you and how to break apart goal setting.